Hello, welcome to the channel. Hello, welcome to the channel. Hello. Alright, it's a channel update. There's not really much to go on about. Mind you, I often say that, don't I? I did try to go to bed earlier because I'm trying to get back to a less wintry, sleep pattern. I don't know about you, but I think I tend to stay up later in winter and get up later. So in summer I'll maybe get up about 5 in the morning or something, or 6. In winter it's like 8. Yeah, maybe it's a natural thing that. All depends what you do, what your job is. Obviously weekends I got up weird, really early, but anyway. So I had a few comments. One from this guy. I think I do like to try and think about things rather than, I think, knee-jerk responses or answers. You have to be really quick thinking, and I'm not actually really quick thinking. I don't think I am. In some ways maybe, but not. Maybe I don't know if I'm better or worse than other people, but I was trying to think of when you get a so the policy I had with the channel, the YouTube channel, was I was answering everybody for a couple of weeks. I'd been blocking people for a while, and then obviously the decent comments were fine, but so basically what you've got to do is sort of work out the nefarious comments, and that's going by. So obviously it's digital, so it's not like somebody come up in the street and saying something. Yeah, this is different. Well, it's not different, but it is a similar idea. So you read what they say, and what I was doing, I was answering just about everybody. The only ones I was blocking was outright abusive ones. So this guy said to me tonight about the wood burner. So, I'll go and show you it now, but in it, part of it said, "You must understand." And I went to bed and I was thinking about that, about what to do with this guy. And I've got a handle of where he's at, and I have a feeling we're not going to get on. And that's because your thinking patterns about things are coming from some underlying reason, right? So I think this guy could be a Green, right? So a Green, as in a Scottish Green or a Green member of the Green Party, or Green ideas. So I suppose if you try and break it down, you've got globalism and hierarchies, billionaires, trillionaires, zillionaires. To break it down a sort of way, that what I believe is happening is these people are making loads of money out of this. And that's becoming apparent out of the green thing, right? So, but on the ground, we've got useful idiots, right? So they are sort of like weird men, usually. Are they female? I think most females probably just go along with stuff, and as long as they're all right, they're fine. But that applies to men as well. But there is a particular type of man who has sort of lost out a bit. They're not very manly, and that's coming from me sitting here wearing a nightie, right? Right. So I mean, I've got sort of like problems with my personality and my upbringing and all that stuff, and I'm not in denial about any of them. So I mean, I'm quite honest about them, and I'll tell you I'm fucked up and everything, right? But the thing about some of these types is they're often like, they'll be cyclists, and I've already talked to you about this. That doesn't mean to say because you've got a bike doesn't mean to say you're a cyclist, right? It's identifying as a cyclist, and it's believing all the green stuff. And my brother's like this. But the problem with it is that below the surface, you've got a lot of, well, it's really hard to go into it really, but you've got a lot of mental problems. And one of them is they're not really masculine, but they're not gay either necessarily. They're just not masculine. So they've been sort of probably damaged, mentally damaged in their upbringing, in the way that I've been mentally damaged in my upbringing, and it's manifested itself in specific ways. But I think what you find with me is you get extremes with me, so that's how I'll end up doing extreme things. And then, so I might be in one area and then a different area and a different extreme. But, so basically these sort of men are a bit strange. So underlying a lot of it is actually a sort of anti-human sentiment. I mean, this has been going on for like 30 or 40 years. And one example would be, so like, so David Attenborough. I mean, a lot of people are shocked when I say I don't like him. Everybody seems to like him, but I don't. And the reason I don't is, he thinks there's too many people on the planet. But if you say that, there's only one thing you must do. And I can't even say what it is on here because it would be wrong. But if you're saying there's too many people on the planet, there's only one answer. So this is a sort of form of projection where it's not me, it's you. It's all you people on the planet, not me. I'm alright, I can get in my jet and fly across the world. You know, so I'm kind of getting away from it a bit here, but so these kind of like green type people. So this guy, he says to me, you must understand. And so what I did was, well, anyway, what he's saying is there's particulates in the wood burning. So basically what I did a Chunel update, and it included the figures from Nottingham Energy Trust, I think it's called, right? So it turns out that air source heat pumps are dirtier. So now what he actually said in his comment was, this is the same as vehicle pollution. So what he is saying, and what people like him are saying is, so they're saying, oh, but, so if you, say for example, it's pretty clear that electric vehicles, lithium battered electric vehicles, are dirtier than ICE vehicles. That is undeniable, right? So, but they will worm out of it by saying about diesel particulates. So what you've got to do with the log burner, well, it's not about log burners, it's about heating. So you start from the beginning. Why do I have a log burner? Because I live in Scotland. Why, you know, so my ancestors come from Africa, right? They didn't need log burners, but they do in Scotland because it's cold. You know, I don't know when the Ice Age, you know, what was it like before that? So it's cold here, right? So you have to have heat, right? So that's a human need, right? You have to be warm and you have to have heat. So that's a basic thing, right? So if you can't have heat here, you have to move somewhere hot, right? Warmer, further towards the equator. So, but then, you know, so you've got to think, like, logically, I'm a human being, I deserve to be hot. You know, so, and plus properties have to be hot, right? You know, a lot of properties get damaged when they're not heated. That's what happens when you abandon, say, old houses. And the older properties have to have heat. So then how do you do that? Well, you look at the table. What's it got? It's got all the different ways of heating. You know, there's the gas and oil, electric, air source heat pump, ground source heat pump, butane, colour gas. There's a whole list of them in that thing. So this guy's coming away and saying, oh, well, what about the particulates? So he's sort of bypassing the table by saying about the particulates. So then you're kind of getting into, the smoke goes out the chimney and you're sort of in the notion that it's just going to stop above there. You know, when we've got the sand landing on our car, and you say, where does that come from? Oh, it's from the Sahara Desert. You think, the sand came from the Sahara Desert in Africa, and it's on top of my car in Scotland. And then you go, oh no, but the soot out the fire, it stays here. And this is where, you know, the argument about the pollution and everything in London and Glasgow, it's complete shit, right? So this guy that's messaged me is, I'll put him in the useful idiot section. He's not a globalist. He's not a millionaire or a billionaire or a trillionaire. He's a useful idiot. He's a green. So I've sort of deduced that just from what he said to me, you know. So then I did something similar the other day to a guy going on about road tax. It's not road tax, and it was another argument. So then, because I sort of, I believe I defeated his argument. Although what he was saying was essentially true, that what I said was that the government are scamming us. So it's called road tax. We buy it for our cars, but it's not spent on roads directly. So that's a scam. So what I'm saying is, yeah, you're right. It's VED, or vehicle excise duty, and it does, and the roads aren't paid for by that. So they need to be. That's what I'm saying. We need to get back to less of the bullshit. It's road tax. Fix the fucking roads, right? So this guy then said that I was triggered, and that was because he kind of came across, and I came punching him metaphorically. I punched him and punched him and punched him metaphorically until he was, well, because it's my channel and I can manage the comments as well, so I deleted his comments. It's my channel, you know. You know, you're coming on here to pick a fight with me, you're going to lose because it's my channel, right? I can delete comments and all the rest of it. I'll be in control of what happens, you know. So the guy that messaged me about the fire, I just thought about it, and I thought, he said to me, you must understand. That is condescending. You know, I don't have to understand what you believe to be true. You believe that. So he's actually ignoring the science by saying, oh, but there's particulates. And it's, so this is where I was going to with the car analogy. I'm sorry, I'm rambling on a bit here. We can't have an electric car and then say it's clean when all the pollution used to make it and used to get rid of it is in China or is in India, or, you know. So the similar thing with the Drax power station. We ferry in wood from Canada to burn in Yorkshire, you know, but you can't have a wood burner in Yorkshire apparently, according to the council. So it is bullshit, right? I mean, so the smoke goes out, it blows away somewhere, the rest particulates. But you look at the graph and the table, say this guy does not like that graph and table. So anyway, right, I'll be going on a bit there about. I said it wasn't going to be long. So I think I've covered most of it. I'll give you a quick look at the message. I don't think he'll have answered me back. Who knows, he might have done. Why is this so dark? It's gone dark or something. I hope it's not dark with you lot. Kind of looks it. Oh, it's maybe gone on. I know what's wrong. Sorry. It's probably. Fuck off. It's probably needing a wee bit of power. So, problem with lots of log burners. Lots. So it's not all log burners, it's just lots. I.e. in urban areas, so he means areas. It is similar to vehicle pollution. You get a lot of particulate pollution, fine soot. It's quite easy to get complete combustion with gas. But look at lump of wood, you must understand that a good chunk of that material ends up in the air. No, I thought it was going to come out the chimney and end up underground. Yeah. So all I said to was, please try and rephrase your comment so it's less condescending. And then in brackets I put, if you can. And that's brilliant because I've actually been condescending to him. Right, I've went on about this a bit much. I think I've got a cold starting, so I'm on the Lemsips. I met 3 people at the weekend who had colds, and it was like I was trying to back away from them. I'm pretty sure. Probably going to get it. I feel like I am anyway. But so sometimes you got to punch people before they punch you. But I might get rid of him. I don't know if he's that bright the way he's written that actually. So, you know, what he's saying is there's truth in what he's saying, but I'm going by the figures. If they tell me that's cleaner than an air source heat pump, I'm not going to start picking faults with soot and combustion and all sorts of bollocks, because that's already been considered in the figures, dumpling. You know, you're denying the figures. The figures are in there. Log burner. The figures are in that video. So what he's saying, really, this is when you have to break down what people are saying. He doesn't agree with the figures. I mean, you're always going to get that, aren't you? You're going to get thick people that deny science and reality. That's science. You know, it's like, it's a hard figure. You know, or if you don't believe that figure, you've got to destroy whoever came up with the figure, the organisation or scientists or the government or whatever it is. So that's where we're going with that. You know, I trust them. That you know, that these people are well respected. It's an organisation that's respected. So why would I doubt that? So that's what he's doing. But he's maybe not given it a lot of depth of thought. I think about things a lot. More than what a lot of, not more, that's stupid, that's condescending. Sorry, right, I'll shut up. Curtain twitchers. This was a good answer. This answer was so good that sometimes I get answers that are so good, I struggle to know how to answer it. That was about, problem is having that cable. So we can get around that side. This was a really nice answer. It was about RBS Gogarburn Edinburgh. I suppose it really matters how you write things, because people, everybody, well, I assess people by how they write things. I suppose I come across as being a bit ignorant sometimes the way I speak and that, some of the swearing and that I do, but this guy's clever. What strikes me as a care and attention someone... See, if he tell me something like what the other guy did, I'd be more respectful of him, because he'd say it in a different way. What strikes me as a care and attention someone put into looking after the grass and plants and sculpture, contrasted against the cheap asphalt that's breaking up, and the even cheaper paint attempt to make lines on the road. One side you have a professional making contracts with the firm doing the work, the other side is a politician who has no idea what they are signing off, cares little about the quality of work. They don't care about anything, you're right. Nice video, enjoyed the format, quite artistic actually. Well, obviously I like that. Simon Lee Official, and I don't exactly know who that is, but good. This is one, I don't think I should answer this because, right, I'm going to take that love away. The reason why, I was thinking about that when I was lying in bed as well. What's this channel about? Where's your accent fae? Now, where would be for breaking, not exactly Aberdeen. Where's more Angus? Sounds like you're speaking Scottish English rather than Scots, but I can't quite place where your accent is from. I find that slightly offensive. I'm not anti-English. I am speaking English, Scottish English, rather than, yeah, well, I suppose I shouldn't really get offended at that. Scottish English rather than Scots. Well, Scots, so my dad spoke Scots, you know, I mean, yeah, I mean, my dad spoke Scots. I mean, what happens, stuff like that, it dies out. Some of the words my dad used, he's dead now, so, and the words sort of died out, and you know that his children are probably going to, what's the influence on how you speak, your education, the area you live in, you know, so I don't think like the parents will have a slight bearing on it, you know, saying Mike. So I mean, I was going to answer him, but it's. The problem with me is that I've come from everywhere in Scotland. Not everywhere, but... Okay, so I was born in Fort William and I lived in Aberdeenshire. So I lived in Fort William for 10 years. That's the Highlands of Scotland. And then I lived from my parents. My father is from Stirling. My mother is from Plean, near Bannockburn. She was actually born in Falkirk, but well, she's probably it's between Plean and Bannockburn, where my mother comes from. I was born in Fort William. That's because my dad worked there. So I was there for 10 years, and then 1976 to 2002, I was in Aberdeenshire. So that's quite a long time, 26 years. 26 years Aberdeenshire. Then I moved to the Scottish borders. I was in Galashiels from about 2003, I think it was November 2002 until 2020. God, it seems like a long time, 17 years down there. Really? Was I down there for 17 years? Galashiels. Yeah, I think it was 2003, aye. So I moved to Stirling, Bannockburn. I stayed in Bannockburn. So it's 4 years. Time just goes flying past. My education, I worked in your education, but I'll tell you where I worked as well. So, high school, primary school, high school, then I worked in the building industry and then I was in the motor industry for quite a long time, and then I went to college, and I eventually went to University of Stirling. I don't know if that affects the way I speak. I think it does, yeah. You learn stuff and your accent changes, or the way you speak, not exactly your accent. And yeah, I would say it probably does. Right, so I'm Scottish. I've got a Scottish accent. It's a bit of a mixture, probably. When I was in the borders, it would have been a bit bordery. When I was in Aberdeen, it was I would say it's probably, I can't tell by listening to me, but I would say it's probably got signs of Aberdeenshire quite strong, because remember, I left Fort William, the Highlands, when I was 10. So, well, that would make sense, because Aberdeenshire is the place I was at the longest. And going by what this person has written, that's like I just think a forfer. There's nothing to go on there. Somebody says where's your accent, Faye? Well, Faye, that's how. I mean, when I was working with it, for a building company, I'm in Aberdeenshire, we were travelling all over the North East. Well, we were in Edinburgh and that as well, Glasgow and everything, but most of it was in the North East. Obviously, you're going to speak like the way they speak. A lot of them came from Arbroath, actually. It was Tayside, Angus. So Aberdeen's sort of different accent, or than Arbroath. But it's from somebody down south. I suppose it would sound the same. Held for review. Let's go and have a see at the review. Show hidden comments. Are you ready? That's the road, not the pavement, you moan. Get the hell off it. Oh, dear. Quite right. Where else he meant to walk, you fanny? Through a fucking tree, selfish prick. Ooh. So I've got two opposing. It's funny, we've got two people commenting the same video with a total. So the other guy I've just approved is saying, "Get off the road. It's a road. It's not a pavement." That's correct. This is the dummies here. The cycling types and everything, or people in places, they'll lose their heads. At the end of the day, everybody's going to get shafted by the government. You think you can get a push bike and stuff, or walk, and it's going to be a lovely place, and your children are going to be running around the roads and everything. There's a video I watched tonight, actually quite a good one, if I could have shown you the link to it, about that, where he's going for the worst case scenario with the government, and he's saying that they're intent on taking our cars off us, and electric vehicles are going to be for a small minority of people, because they're making it so expensive, and that's how they put the price up of parking and everything like that. So it started off conning us into thinking they were. Well, I knew electric cars wouldn't work, and they don't work. So What the hell am I talking about? Yeah, so there's a video that I watched that I'd like to actually show you. Yeah, I'll find it before we end this. Basically, everybody's going to get shafted, is what he's saying, and I believe him to be true. So if you think so, that it's like this, like pedestrian cyclist against motorists. So what he's saying is that there's not going to be cars on the road, and before you start going, oh, isn't that wonderful? It's going to be so lovely. It's not, because it's going to ruin society. There's not going to be any wealth or any money. It's going to be dead. So that's what he's saying, and that's true, because cars are what's made us wealthy. Vehicles, goods, services, everything's going to go up in price, is what he's saying. Anyway, let's have a look at this moron. Quite horrible. Quite Mick Kiernan. Yeah, okay. Is that deliberate? Let's see what this stupid idiot looks like. Oh, he looks like he's just come out of prison, doesn't he? Mick Kiernan. Well, that's kind of like a... he looks like a right dumpling. That's a mugshot from prison. Right, so he doesn't have any videos. Just a moron. What we do? No, we can go back to that. No, we better report it because it's through a fucking tree. Well, no, you could walk round the tree without going on the road, moron. So we've got him. That's a really weird thing to say, actually, isn't it? So we'll get in here, hide user from the channel. Right, Mick Kiernan. It's like, fine, move on. He's a dumpling and a moron. Right, so if I find that, if I go into my, I'll just get this fucking cable off. If I go into my history, right, dashboard, and I'll find that video. So is there a history or something you can find? Yeah, there is, isn't there? Where is YouTube history? Right, so I should be able to find the one I just watched earlier. Oh, it's on my phone. Oh, it should go back to the. Ah, here it is. Found it. Is it Stuart Fillingham? This is a good one. So if you can watch this video.
This is what happens when you
shut up! No bloody adverts! Oh! Let's get it. Right, Stuart Fillingham. It's EV shop. London councils.
Hey, up, right.
To raise
some rather startling news.
EV parking prices.
I think, if nothing else, proves very much that within the next 10 years, the ability to travel using your own personal transport, those days are going to end. If things continue as they are. Now, there's just something I want to address before we get onto this parking issue for EVs in London. British motorists are sleepwalking into sort of transport poverty in this country. And I think the naivety of your average British motorist and motorcyclist is quite worrying. Now, I get hundreds of comments.
Right, so if you could subscribe to, or, you know, I mean, he's nothing like, I'm useless compared to him. He's had 81,186 views for that. He's only just put it on. I mean, I don't think I've had that many views for a whole channel. But yeah, he's good. Like, so, I think, to be fair, to my love of motor cycles, with my interest in making videos, so as simple as that. Mine was on my own, and I do not expect others to agree with everything I say. This channel is intended only as entertainment. Right, so he's pretty accurate. I think what I would say is that, see, I don't like, you know, the phrase, I got called a conspiracy theorist today. It was the CIA. I said, look, the CIA I says, what you're saying is that you're advocating CIA talk, conspiracy theorist. But Stuart Fillingham seems to be going with the worst case scenarios, and he's been right all along, because the government is going with are doing the worst case scenarios. So, you know, yeah, I mean, it does. To be honest with you, it does upset me actually. If you watch that video, well, that one I just showed you. Where was it? Where's it going? That one. That one. EV shock. London Council raise EV parking price by 1,800% due to high lifetime emissions status. That's the weight of the, you know, the EVs, the tyres and everything, and the brakes and all that stuff. And they're actually using. It's ironic that Westminster, or I think it's Westminster, are using the overall life of the electric vehicle, whereas normally the con has been just, you know, the in use emissions. Right. So we'll check, see if there's any other comments come in, see if that numpty's. All right, there's another one I've got to deal with. It's just crying over a guy walking his dog. I left that one up. I probably should have deleted it. Well, no, I'm not really crying about it. I'm just saying there's a guy walking down the road. I had to stop almost and indicate to the right and pull out to overtake him because I didn't want to run him over. I'm not crying about it. It's everybody else is getting upset about it. I'm anecdoting and I'm looking at the world and what's going on. That's what I'm doing. So, this idea, it says, they're Scots, mate, they would fight you over nothing. I don't know if I should. Ralph Malf. They're Scots. Who's Scots? There's. Oh, fuck. Hide user from the channel. Fuck off. It's like, yeah, don't mess about. Alright, so I'm gonna go in a minute. Right, there's nothing came in for the numpty. That's a brilliant answer. If anybody's ever like, if you smell a rat, I learned this from Jordan Peterson. I watched him quite a lot. There was somebody hit him with, from the audience, hit him with this. It was a question, but it was actually an accusation. It was loaded with all these accusations. He just says to her, try and rephrase your question. So it's less of a political, you know, I can't remember. It was when he was in Australia. So it's less of a political opinion. It's not really a question. Right. Dashboard 3875 analytics. So yeah, I mean I think you need to go all things considered when you're looking at anything and everything, you know. So you get a bit of smoke coming out of a wood burner, you get smoke coming out there, it goes out the chimney. Remember, that's the latest wood burner. That's a new wood burner. That's the equivalent of the latest ICE vehicle. It's got the latest catalytic converter and emission system in it, and that's what that Drax power station's got. It's got the latest filter thing as well. That's the same as that. And so basically, it's not some old wood burner that's been lying about somewhere and I've just went and fitted it. So they're dumplings. They really are. Anti-human dumplings. So that's the big video. 296194. It was 295 last time I looked at it. 50 the last 60 minutes. Yeah, I suppose if it's 50 every 60 minutes. Oh, right, okay, so the last 60 minutes, 50. Oh, I get that. So 60 minutes is not long, is it? That's only... Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't realise that was minutes. So it's like 48 hours, 2,243. So yeah, I'm looking for it to get up to 300,000. I think it will. There was a big one before it stopped dead at 210 or something, around about 210. And I just don't know when this one's going to stop. So this one's nearly 100,000 more. Well, it's 90,000 more than the next one. You know, the next big video. For me, that, I mean, I'm going by my standards. I'm not going by anybody else's. You know, I'm only doing my best to get on with. So there's the monthly stats. You can see I started putting a bit more effort into things. So it was December 2022, 107. So December 2023, 605,870. What else happened to it? Oh. Why is it no? Oh, it's changed, isn't it? Something's happened, it's changed it. December 2023. 605,000. Alright, alright, it's got to be blue. Ah, right, I get it. You've got to move it across like that. Yeah, right, got it, okay. I'm not the smartest cookie, but... So it's December 2022, 107. I'm getting mixed up here. So it's 100, so it's... 100... What is it, 100 and... God, what the hell's fucking going on? Can you see what? It's a bit awkward to use this, isn't it? I don't have a good memory for holding figures. 107,000. Right? That was December 2022. And 605. That's 500,000 more, isn't it? Yeah. Right. Okay, thanks for watching. Let's go and have a look at fire. Yeah, so, I mean, people have all sorts of bullshit. What the government are doing, they're really going to have us. But look what's happening with the Nicola Sturgeon thing, the SNP. I mean, that's the Scottish government who were, you know, dominating everybody and everything here for years. And it turns out they're a bunch of crooks. But we all knew that, because I never voted for them. But there was always that, they sort of went along in a sort of mudslide of popularity. That's a good way of putting it, a mudslide. Because in Scotland, you've always got 25 or 30% of people want to break away from the United Kingdom. Personally, I think it's stupid. It's like a micromanaging the crisis. Breaking away is just not going to do anything for your life at all. It's going to make it worse, definitely. But I can't get through to them. That's what they believe that. So there's always going to be 25 or 30% of jocks who are anti-English, is what it really comes down to. And that's just a lack of maturity, in my opinion, that you just don't like your neighbour. You know, and it's just like pretty immature. You know, it's the British Isles, you know. From somebody from like the other side of the world, they're not going to know the difference, are they? We're just, you know. But it's that thing where you don't like your neighbour and stuff, you know. That's the way I see it. Well, anyway, obviously, if you go and break away, you're not breaking away. You're just getting different. So the whole point I'm making is tyranny. So Sturgeon was the First Minister who was dishing out the tyranny that's coming from up above. Them lot that made money out of the pandemic. She was just there to implement all that shit. And all she kept doing, it was so obvious. She said, and she lies. So it's like, oh, they've discovered that she's a liar, but she's probably not really. She's a bit more incompetent than the other politicians, like the ones in Westminster. They're probably better at lying. She's no good at lying. I don't think she's that. I think you have to be really intelligent to lie. And remember what you said, get yourself caught out. And she was going quite well for a while. And then obviously it all fell apart with the gender thing. When it was a bad coincidence that Isla Bryson was getting put to jail, got done for rape at that time. Interestingly, Alex Salmond also got done for rape. But well, they really try to stitch him up. Anyway, right. So Alex Salmond is a danger. right? Because he's the only one that's not a numpty. They're all numpties. Well, another guy from Sky's not too bad, but I don't like him obviously because I don't like gnats. But you know, is it Broadford or something? Oh fuck, I can't remember his name. Blackford. I think he comes from Broadford. Anyway, right. So, look what happened. Sturgeon. So I'm talking about middle managers. They've got these middle managers in government fleecing us of money, and that's how Sturgeon got caught out because she was so tight. She tried to claim £18 for a cheapo phone that she had to buy, so she could be dishonest and send messages that she didn't want MD to see. So they're middle managers. So all you're doing is just getting different middle managers. What we need to do is get Tony Blair. I don't want to say what I'd like to do to Tony Blair, and I would actually do it, but you can't, you know. So you have to get him put in jail, right? So that's not going to happen because he's rich and powerful. Start with him. He's the one that started this climate claptrap. He's the one that started the destruction of Great Britain. I don't know if he's the one that started it, but probably went back further. Anyway, right, so I'm yabbling on. So they're a bunch of crooks. I don't know what the answer is. I know I don't think you should vote for any of them, especially the Labour Party. I don't know the answer. Sorry. Don't vote for any of them. Let's all go and protest. We need to get a different government. Stop them. As I said, the World Economic Forum is not the problem. The problem is that our politicians are going there. You know, that's the problem. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. You get me in the next video and I'll do the voice activation thing. It does work, you know. You must understand. End video now!